everyone. Welcome to Kikiko Events podcast. I'm Kristine Mansuy. I'm the founder of Kikiko Events, and I have the pleasure today of introducing you to Madalena Vidigal for our third episode of the podcast, where we talk about wine, viticulture, wine tourism, and travel. So in today's episode, we will dive into one of my favorite countries, not to say my favorite, Portugal, which is the leading wine tourism destination in the world. So I have the honor to have Madalena Vidigal with me today, which is she is a wine tourism expert, consultant, educator, communicator, and way more. And she will share her expertise with us today. We will dive into the emerging wine regions of Portugal, of course, the amazing wine and gastronomy culture of Portugal, exciting experiences that she will share with us, and much more. So welcome, Madalena.
Thank you. Hi, Kristine, and thank you. It is quite exciting to be talking to the other side of the world, or the other side of the ocean, at least.
Yes.
With a completely different time zone,
Yes.
so it will be fun.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
in my
you for
car.
being here. Yes. Where are you actually?
In advance.
Which part of Portugal? Because I saw you were traveling, because you're always in different regions of Portugal because you're also a consultant for wineries and hospitality projects. So where are you exactly today?
So right now I'm in halfway between Lisbon and Algarve. So
Okay.
I'm going to the south of the country, and I did a quick stop halfway, so I could have this talk with you. So that's why I'm in the car. So I apologize in advance, but that's how my life is. Actually, my website and my project name Entre Vinhas means between vines. So
Nice.
that's basically what I do. I'm always between some vine.
Yes. So if you guys want to follow Madalena on Instagram or Facebook, it's actually absolutely beautiful because you always share amazing photos, videos, stories of the region. And we know that Portugal is so beautiful, has amazing landscape, and we know that it's a small country but very diversified with amazing places to see and visit. So to talk a little bit about your background and your biography, which is pretty diverse. So you studied in hospitality, also in viticulture and wine tourism. So you're certified. And what's exactly is your certificate in wine tourism?
I did a post graduation. It's the name here in Portugal. So I had my degree, my first degree in hospitality and hotel management, and then in Portugal we can add post degrees, which take about 1 year and a half. So I add to my basic studies, I add wine tourism and then viticulture later on. So
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm a post-graduation, something like that.
Very good. And also, so you're the founder of Entre Vinas, as you mentioned, which is originally was only a blog,
Yes.
specialized, and actually the first blog in Portugal, more focused on wine tourism, I believe.
Yes, so definitely the first one, and I believe is still the only one dedicated fully to wine tourism. So I started as a passion person that loves traveling and loves wine, and I was traveling around the world to taste wine. And one day I said, I have to share this to the world. I cannot keep it to myself. All the adventures I am having, all the experiences I'm having, all the people I'm meeting, not only in Portugal, but around the world. So I decided to write about it, and I created this blog called Entre Vinhas. So that was the start of all back in 2015. So 11 years ago when I started sharing. I was traveling already before that, but then only in 2015 I said, I have to share this. I have to write it and register and have it in a website so everyone can read it.
That's amazing. So almost 12 years you started this blog, and as you mentioned at the beginning, it was also focused on international wine and wine tourism, not only in Portugal.
Yes. Obviously, like I said, I was just sharing because I was traveling and I wanted to share. From the moment that in Portugal, I got attention from the winemakers, the wine producers, all the wineries that wanted to partnership with me. I start focusing in Portugal, of course, and obviously for the distance. But I keep traveling abroad, and mostly to learn and to sometimes it's good to go abroad and to see other realities, to learn also about our own country, and
Yes.
to come back home and realize that Portugal is actually not behind anyone or any other country. So it's very, for me, I feel very proud every time I travel and I get to learn something, but I get about the countries I'm traveling, but also the country I'm in. So yeah, so nowadays I'm most focused in the Portugal reality, and also because I still write. Every time I have a spare time, I like to write about my travels and my experiences. But along this time, and I don't want to spoil already the conversation and all the topics we're going to cover. But yes, my journey went on a different path, and I'm mostly dedicated to training. So training staff in the wineries, and also consultancy to new projects of wine tourism that are starting their own business.
That's fantastic. So, of course, as an educator, trainer, traveling the world and seeing other regions and countries and their approach to tourism, hospitality is a must, as you mentioned, because it also gives you another, another way of seeing how people work. And then you come back home and you realize how the standards are really high, and you can compare as well, and take examples of what you saw in other regions. So I also agree that it's very important to see
That's
what other
that's
people
important.
do.
Actually, in any kind of business, you have to travel and get to learn other realities. And even with wine, purely wine, you have to taste other wines. Even if you are a wine producer, you cannot spend your whole life drinking your own wine. You have to drink other wines, other regions, other styles. So
Yes.
that's how we
Yes.
learn.
Yes, it's a point of reference. And also, as wine, you have to know the classics, you have to know the basics. You cannot evaluate a wine if you don't know, the classics from France or from Italy, and then you have to compare it to something, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's very fascinating. And so also you have also your podcast that you launch. I think it's more recent. So it's Cinco Minutos de Vinos.
Bingo. Yes. Perfect. Yes, that one I created in 2021 was actually a pandemic child, let's say, during all the lockdowns, and we were home and we got time to be creative and to think about life, and because I love talking and I love teaching. So and throughout this years talking about wine tourism and traveling, a lot of people told me, well, Madalena, I don't read your post and I don't travel for wine tourism because I don't know much about wine, or I don't understand wine, and it's a very hard language to learn. So no, I don't do wine tourism. And I said, okay, if that's a problem, first of all, I don't think that's a problem. You don't have to know a lot about wine to travel. If any, you can learn about wine by traveling. That's my that's what I that's what I truly believe in. It's, you can learn a lot about wine traveling and tasting. But I said to myself, well, let's try an approach to people to learn more about wine in a very easy and fun and light way. Because I'm not a winemaker myself, I haven't studied winemaking. So obviously I don't have all that technical language and very deep into things. But I do know about wine and I know how to explain it to people. So I created this podcast, which means 5 minutes of wine. And the episodes actually take five-ish, 5-6 minutes just to explain very basic concepts about wine, like what are tannins or sulfates, or how to taste, how to choose wine in the supermarket, how to know what's a corky wine, or which glass to use. so those were the first episodes, but now I have around 150 120 episodes.
Wow.
So I had to be creative.
Yes.
And then I started to talk about different wine regions in Portugal, wine regions in the world, different grape varieties. So I started to introduce new levels of learning. So I just consider that everyone that starts listening to the podcast from the beginning at some point needs to evolve and to grow in their knowledge, and that's what I've been doing. So it's at the moment it's taking a pause for me to find new themes, new episodes, and to record them. Also, each episode I recommend one Portuguese wine to drink along with me.
That's really cool. But it's a challenge to do it in 5 minutes. It's a challenge.
Yes, but you know that. Yes, it is. But I've made it. Managed to do it, and actually, to be honest, I think that's the biggest point of success of this podcast is the 5 minutes, and that's the time of that's the duration that people can be. How do I say? The attention. The attention of people is very short nowadays.
It's true.
So you cannot have a 1 hour, 1.5 hour podcast, and especially if it's this kind of concepts learning. So
like I love the concept. I love the concept of learning something in 5 minutes, and there's so much to share. But it's only in Portuguese, is it? Is it translated subtitles or not yet?
No, it's just a voice. It's just a sound podcast. It's on Spotify. But I've done it to Portuguese people, of course, and also Brazil speaks Portuguese, so I do have a big audience in Brazil as well. Yes. And all of the Portuguese speaking countries, and people that are learning Portuguese may learn through my podcast as well.
I'm planning on learning Portuguese from Portugal, not from Brazil.
French. If you already speak French, may not be that difficult.
No, but I know it's not easy. People have told me, but it is not as far from French, but we have some advantage. And then the last part of your pedigree or your bio is that you also have your wine brand now, which is called Pedra da Mãe.
Pedra da Mãe, yes. That's the name of the wine. So that's another reason why I call my project at the beginning Entre Vinhas. So not only I travel around and between vines of many wine producers, but also my own vineyard. So I would always be between some kind of vine. And yes, this was a challenge that my parents gave me 13 years ago. So 2013, I was still working in hotel management. So I was working in a hotel with the suits and the heels and all that. Very, very corporate style of life, until the day that my parents said, well, we do have some piece of land in Alentejo, and we would like to start our own wine project. Would you accept the challenge? And I said, oh, yes. To be honest with you, by the time I had no idea what I was I was getting into. It was much more challenging and harder than I thought. But after all this time, I think it was worth it, because the wine is actually very, very good. I know I'm biased, and it's and we always think our projects and our products are amazing, and our kids are the most beautiful children in the world. So, but I'm really proud that I've done something different in Alentejo. So this is the region where my wine is growing, and I've cheated a little bit. So I decided to plant grapes, considering that in Portugal we have around 250 to 300 grape varieties. So we do have a lot of varieties in Portugal. And I decided to plant in the south grapes that are mostly popular and used up in the north of the country.
Okay.
So the result, I've changed the recipe a little bit, and I got a very different result, and I'm very proud of it.
So what is the blend? Is the one red that you do?
It's one red, yes, and only Portuguese grapes. So we have Touriga Nacional, which is our most cherished Portuguese grape, and then I have Touriga Franca or Touriga Francesa. Up in the north, they call it Touriga Francesa, and then I also have Sousão, which is the most
Nice.
out of the box grape here. Sousão or Vinhão, it's the same name. It's a grape, very dark color grape from the north, with a lot of acidity, a lot of tannins. So I really wanted to add that to the blend to create a wine that not only has the tannins and acidity and fruit and some greenish flavors to it, herbal and vegetable flavors, but also this kind of grapes adds a lot of how do you say, make it last longer and bottle and age better. So I really wanted to add that to the wine.
I think Sazao, I tried from Vinho Verde and Rias Baixas in Galicia.
Yes,
right?
yes. So it's Vinhão in Vinho Verde and Sousão in Douro. And I didn't know that in Rias Baixas they use it too, but it makes all sense. Yes.
It's so good. And I had a crazy story. I'm not going to go into that, but when I went to Galicia, it was my first visit to Portugal in 2021. And then I went to Galicia for 10 days. And I had all these amazing bottles and some of Sazao from an amazing producer, and which is really rare in Galicia to have red in Rias Baixas, actually. And I got stolen. The bottles got stolen, so I lost them. And I'm like, oh no, I have to go back to get some more. But it's a special grape for sure. I remember tasting amazing wines.
It is, but it's not consensual, so not everyone loves it. But it's fine for me. I didn't want to produce a wine that everyone loves. I produced only 2,000 bottles, so I only need 2,000 people to love it.
2,000 bottles. So, but you don't call yourself a winemaker, because do you use a consultant to help you?
So I did study viticulture, like you mentioned before, because I take care of my own vineyard, and I decided that I prefer to take care of the grapes and make sure that the basic product, it's really good quality, so the grapes have great quality, and then I handle it to other professionals that are much better than me in the winemaking, and also because I don't have my own winery, the facilities of the winery, so I use it as an outsource to another winery and the winemakers of that winery. So I decided that I don't need to do everything. I didn't want to do everything. I want to do less things, but very well done. So I handle the winemaking to professionals.
But that's good. It gives you a little bit more experience, because even as sommeliers, we're not winemakers, but it gives you that hands-on experience, so you can share what you learned, and there's nothing like doing it yourself, right?
Yes, and of course we were always in touch, and I always say to the winemakers what kind of wine and the style I want to produce that year. And actually, they have their own wines. The winery, of course, have their own wines, and my wine is completely different from theirs. So, and it's okay, and that's the idea. So they completely respect my style and what I want to do with my wine, and that's the perfect partnership.
That's so cool. So if we move on wine tourism, which is our main subject for this podcast, in your perspective, why do you think Portugal is a leading country in the world for wine tourism? We know that there's been a lot of wineries and hospitality projects having awards with Best of Wine Tourism, of course, and it's been talked about a lot in the press, and more tourism in Portugal, and tourists are wanting to do wine experiences and culinary experience. So I just wanted to have your insight on that. And I know there's a lot of answers, but to your perspective.
I was about to say that because we needed a lot of time, a lot more time beyond this podcast to explain you that. But actually, the awards, it's not what makes this country a worth destination. The awards is a consequence of what we already have and what we already do. So I studied hotel management over 20 years ago because it was already a big thing. Tourism in Portugal was already a big thing. It always been our main product in terms of economy. It's tourism. We're very good at it. We're very good at it because we have a great weather. We have a great location. We have different landscapes. We are very nice people. It's a safe country. We can speak different languages. We're very, very welcoming people. So from the kings and queens times from Europe, they will all end up on their summer vacations in Portugal. So it's not something from now, it's something that came back from the past. What is new to it is that we're adding different products to wine tourism. So it's not only sand and sea that we're good at, and we still have a lot of tourism in it, but the gastronomy tourism, where the wine tourism it's included, it's growing a lot. But also surf, for instance, surf tourism, it's growing a lot as well, and religious tourism. So I mean, wine tourism, it's one of the reasons to come to Portugal nowadays. So we have a lot to offer. But to answer to your question, why I think Portugal has so much potential, first of all, because it's a very small country in dimension. So I'll need your help to make like a parallel to Canada, but just to give you an idea, from Lisbon, which is by the coast with the Atlantic Ocean, to the border with we only have two borders, by the way, it's Spain and the Atlantic Ocean. So from the Atlantic Ocean to Spain in a vertical line, in a horizontal line, it's less than 3 hours driving. If we go up north to Vinho Verde, drive down south to Algarve, where I'm heading now, it's probably 7 hours driving. So you can cross the entire country in roughly 7 hours.
That's good.
By car. So I've read that Portugal fits 108 times inside Canada. 108.
Oh, I didn't know this number. That's insane.
It's insane, and even more insane if you think that here we have sea and sand, of course, we have the mountain, we have snow, we have all different landscapes, we also have our own Portuguese savanna in Alentejo. The landscape changes, the food changes, the weather changes along this 700 kilometers or 800 kilometers. That's what you take from north to south. So there's so much variety in such a small territory that in 7 days, let's say, if you do organize a wine tour in Portugal for 7 days, you can easily go through 4 or 5 wine regions.
That's amazing. Actually, when you mentioned 7 hours to cross the whole country, it's 7 hours for us from Montreal to drive to Toronto, to Ontario, which is our neighbor province. So this is, yeah.
So I think that's why we're having a lot of Canadians and Americans and Brazilian people coming to Portugal for different reasons, but all of them get very surprised that it's so easy to travel, because some distance for us, like, driving 2 hours for us is too much. And for you guys, it's like 2 hours. It's just next door. So I think that's one of the main pros about Portugal.
I agree about the Portuguese being very nice, very warm. My first visit was in 2021. when I fell in love with Portugal, and I was really touched by the people are very not everybody, of course, but like most Portuguese people, you feel that they're really happy to see you. They're happy to welcome you. Like it's in your heart to share and to welcome people, and that changes everything. I think. Like
And
it's
let me
not.
tell you that that doesn't only happen with foreigners. We do that with our own. So Portuguese are nice to each other generally,
Mhm.
generally speaking. So it's
That's a
not
that's
something
a
that
good.
we do only for foreigners because we want to please others. That's not
Yeah,
only.
that's a way of living, I guess. Like you're just like that, like just generous and warm and a lot of humility. That's another topic that I had with a wine producer and some hotels owners. Is that you have this amazing country, amazing offers, amazing wines, and still you know about it, but you don't brag too much about it. You're not saying we're the best out of. So I think
Well,
it's also attractive.
that's true. I agree with you in a way. I think that we should brag a little bit more, just a
Yeah,
little bit more in a healthy way,
in a healthy
because
way.
we doubt about ourselves so much. We always think we're not worthy. We always think we're not that good. We always think other people and the countries are better than us. And the work I'm doing by traveling and coming back to Portugal is to show at least my clients and my students that we are good. We are good. We don't need to keep looking to the other side of the board and say, well,
Hmm.
other people are better than us. No, because other people are looking at us. A lot of wineries in because I have from them in Spain and France and Germany. They say that Portuguese wineries are an example for them in terms of wine tourism. So
Fantastic.
we sometimes we need to be a little bit more proud of what we do and to brag a little bit, just a little bit,
Yeah. But
to show we're
it's
good.
still that best kept secret. It's not a secret anymore, but I guess for like wine connoisseurs, wine geeks that are like buy big Bordeaux's or like big classics appellations
Mhm.
in Italy, and for them, Portugal is still very affordable, but
Yeah.
it's still a best kept secret. And I
Yeah.
mean, it has to stay this way, but I agree that
Yes. I
it's
think it
very
will stay this
Portugal.
way.
Yeah.
I think it will stay this way because we do have um, two very popular already wine regions. One of them is it's already popular worldwide, which is the Douro Valley, mostly because of the port wines. But inside Portugal, I can tell you that Portuguese people travel a lot more to the Alentejo area, to the south. Um, and those are our most famous regions. But then we have another emergent, let's say,
Yes.
regions that are still to discover and still to explore. They're really worth it. For instance, I'm heading south to Algarve at the moment, and which is already a very popular destination,
Yes.
specifically among the European, Dutch, German, British tourists. But they also produce great wine, and the wineries are lovely. So
Yes.
I always say that you don't need to do much or to change a lot of your vacation to visit a winery or to do wine tourism. You can just having a vacation with family at the
Mhm.
beach, and then you take one afternoon and visit a winery, and that's
Yes.
already, it means a lot to the wineries to show their wine. And you can fit in one of these activities in your vacation.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I was in the Algarve, not this year, last year, I guess, February. But I visited as much wineries as I could. But I was so impressed. I had no, I was not, I had no expectations, and I was so impressed by the quality of the wines, but also the quality of the experience at wineries. I was like, wow, this is like world class hospitality, and even the beauty of some of the wineries, and it was really really nice. So I also encourage people to visit wineries in Algarve. And of course, it's a fantastic beach and hiking destination, but it's just great
Yes.
that it has it all.
And another, if you allow me, I don't know how we're in terms of time, but if you allow me, another region I think that it's worth visiting, especially because it's so close to the airport and to the capital. It's the Lisbon wine region. So we have a wine region with the name of our capital, Lisboa, Lisbon, and there's a lot of variety in terms of wine styles. Actually, you can have fortified wines, you can have sparklings, you can have still wines. I'm sorry, you can have a certain wine. I don't know if you visited Colares when you were here in Portugal.
I know their wines, but I didn't visit them.
So Colares, it's a region really by the sea, so close to the sea that the vines actually absorb the sea breeze and the salinity coming from the sea, and the wines are very unique and very special. And the vines are planted in sand soil. So you have all that within one region, which is right next to the capital of the country, for instance.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's true that it's still very unknown, because people, when they think about Lisbon, they think about, city tours and like restaurants, and this is amazing place to visit. But the vineyards are so close. It's 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Yes, and it's very easy to drive. Like I told you, you can rent a car in the city and just drive around. It's safe. It's easy. We have nice highways. Yes,
absolutely. Excellent. So yes, definitely emerging wine regions. You would say Algarve and Lisbon.
Just naming two. I couldn't name all of them.
Of course. And then how many wine regions? Are there 7 wine regions or 8?
There's 14.
14? Maybe it's the one
islands as well. So considering the islands of Madeira and Azores.
Yes.
And all the continental regions like Dão, Beira Interior, Tejo, Trás-os-Montes, Bairrada, Península de Setúbal. So
yes. I've been to Trás-os-Montes and Tavaru Barossa as well. But
yes,
that's very far.
Great sparklings.
Murganheira, that's why we went in that area. But even Trás-os-Montes up north was just so amazing, and the wines were lovely. So never ends. But you have 14. I don't know why I had 7 or 8 in mind, but that's a lot to discover.
Yes.
So perfect. So we covered emerging wine regions. So in terms of your job as a consultant for wineries, hospitality projects, what is your biggest challenge? I mean, you mostly consult to help them, in their project. You're starting a new project from the beginning. I know you have all sorts of trainings that you propose. Yes. But what's your day-to-day challenges or what they face as challenge for wineries or hospitality?
There's 2 answers to that question. So my challenges and the challenges of the wineries. So let's start with the second one. So the main challenge for the wineries at the moment, and maybe it's a worldwide problem, not only here, is staff. Mm-hmm. It's qualified and talented people to work in wine tourism, and people that really want to dedicate time to that, because wine tourism is not exactly a 9-to-5 job. It's you work on weekends and during the peak season, like August and September, when everyone wants to be on summer holidays, you have to work in wine tourism. So in terms of schedule, it's not an easy activity. So it's hard to find people to work in wine tourism, also because most young people prefer to go and live abroad, not abroad, but in the cities. And most of the wineries are in the countryside. So there's not a lot of younger generations wanting to work in the countryside. So staff, it's a major challenge for the wineries. And I assume it's not only in Portugal. You have the you have that a little bit all over the world in hospitality industry in general, and restaurants as well. So that's the main challenge. I do work with staff in terms of training, like I told you, because even if the staff it's not well prepared, that's my job to prepare them to work in wineries and to develop the skills of the teams, the wine tourism teams, to provide a better service to the clients at the end of the day. So that's the main challenge for the wineries, and I try to cover that somehow. Because there's a lot of other reasons that I cannot do much for it, because there's structural country from the country, structural problems in the country. My challenge is still to, although I do have certain kind of clients that really understand the need of having consultancy, my challenge is to explain the wineries that in order to start working and having a structured and a sustainable and profitable business, they may need help. It has to be structured. There has to be a strategy. And most of the wineries in Portugal are still family run business. So sometimes it's not very professional, a bit amateur sometimes, and all the family does everything, and then they don't get the results they want. And I try to explain them that they need help to structure their business.
Professional help, just professionalize.
Exactly. So that's my main challenge, is to explain that wine tourism, if it's organized and structured, can be highly profitable. Because I think the mentalities are shifting already, because we are noticing, Portuguese wineries and producers are noticing now that obviously with the wine sales dropping a lot around the world, wine tourism works as a marketing tool.
Absolutely.
And a sales tool. And they're realizing that a lot of tourists come to the wineries and end up buying a lot of bottles, and that's good for their business. So they're changing their mentality, but it's a process and it takes time. So that my challenge is to show that if you do it in a professional way, you'll get better results, and I'm here to help you with that.
And also consistency is also very important. That's in all hospitality. I mean, there's nothing worse than going to your favorite restaurant or favorite hotel and then having the best experience, like 10 on 10, and like everything's amazing, and then you go back and it's the opposite and it's horrible. So that consistency is really important.
Exactly. So I work with that. I work on that. But also, I always say, and we were talking about that earlier, I think I do the less romantic part and less charming part of wine tourism, which is the backstage. But for me, it's the most important part, because it doesn't matter if we are promoting our country as the best wine tourism destination, if the tourists come to Portugal and they don't get the good service and they don't get professional people working with them, and being professional doesn't mean that you stop being human and genuine and authentic. It's just you're doing things the way they work. Okay.
Yes, that's great. So what do you see coming in a few next years or 10 years in terms of wine tourism and hospitality in Portugal, as maybe new trends, or how do you see it?
I don't have those we call the balls,
crystal balls.
Crystal ball, yes.
How do you see it evolving?
I can see it's growing, and it's not me only. Statistics and studies show that that the wine tourist market will still keep growing. And what the studies say as well is that with the upcoming generation, so the millennials and the Gen Z, this kind of generation prefers to drink wine within an experience. So not only going to the supermarket or the wine shop and buying a bottle, but they want to consume wine integrated in an experience. So if that's the trend, and it will keep growing. What I wish, and it's not how do you say, a forecast, but it's a wishing thought, that the regions all over the world, the regions don't lose their authenticity and only to please the tourists. And I think authenticity, it's a word that's, everyone's using it at the moment, but it's very, very important. And I always tell my clients and students, the tourists want to see what's real.
Yes.
So don't show them something that it's not you, that it's fake. Don't do things only to please the tourists, because that's what they want to see. They want to see you. That's the opposite. You have to be you. You have to have the Portuguese food and the Portuguese wine and the Portuguese grape, and if necessary, use some Portuguese words, because people love to learn, and show the family, and don't want to be something else you're not. Don't try to fake something. Be yourself, be authentic, because that's what the tourists want to see more and more.
That's amazing. It's so true. You cannot fake authenticity, right? You can try, but it'll not translate the same way.
Yes, I don't want to go to Napa Valley or South Africa and see exactly the same experiences and the same wine tasting that I have here in Portugal. I want to see something different. Otherwise, I wouldn't travel. I wouldn't bother spending time and money traveling. I would stay home. So we have to be different from others by being ourselves.
Yes.
Our own traditions, our culture, and be proud of it. Yes.
So speaking of food, I wanted to discuss with you. I've been noticing, and also on the world stage, a lot of new Michelin-starred restaurant in Portugal, a new high-end restaurant, and award-winning chefs, which is fantastic for the world recognition. I do not want to start a debate on the Michelin-star restaurants, because
that's for another podcast.
That's another podcast. But I think it's good for the recognition of the culinary heritage and talent in Portugal. Do you think it's going to attract as well more luxury travelers, or?
Well, that would be another discussion. The luxury
market
concept. The concept of luxury is something that I debate a lot in my classes. That is a completely different concept for everyone. Everyone has its own luxury standards. I think that it definitely can attract different clients and tourists from all over the world, and especially because Michelin, it's a worldwide known award. So it's people know it from other countries and know the quality that's related to 1 star or 2 stars or 3 stars. We don't have any 3 stars at the moment. Hopefully one day we'll only have 1 and 2. We have more and more Michelin stars in wineries, which is also nice, showing that the wineries can also be a luxury destination, or it's not only some amateur business, can be also big business, and it's important to have all different kinds of styles of wine tourism. But I don't know if it attracts a luxury one. It's just it puts us on the map, and more important than that, just like I told you, there's more and more wineries having Michelin restaurants, which just attracts more people to the countryside. Because until not that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, you would only have Michelin stars in Lisbon. And now you have it in the wineries in the middle of nowhere. So it makes people drive all the way to those restaurants to visit. And once they're in there, they will visit other wineries around. So definitely it's a positive thing.
Really cool. And what is Portuguese gastronomy for you? Is it like the homemade food from the mother, from yeah?
Yes, it's homemade. Well, but again, my mom is the best cook in the world. And for me, her food, it's home, of course. But yes, but we have I think it's all connected. If we have so much variety in terms of landscape and in terms of climate and even different soils, we also have different produce.
Mhm.
We eat all kind of meat in Portugal. We have a huge sea territory, so a big part of the Atlantic Ocean belongs to Portugal. So we have all varieties of fish and seafood. We have a lot of different vegetables and fruits. In terms of fruits, we don't have that much exotic fruits, but in terms of vegetables, we have a lot. So again, we have a lot of variety. And our chefs, even if the more fancy Michelin star ones, they always want to mix a little bit of the, you know, how do you say, fine dining and
Yes.
really very high quality cuisine with the home flavors. They
Mhm.
always have some recipes that were inspired in the grandma's food. All of them. Even the two Michelin stars have something that they got it from their childhood, all the inspiration. So I think it will always be with us. Our food. We love food. We welcome people with food. We show our love for people through food.
That's
So
amazing. Makes us wants to travel. So I think we'll finish because I don't want to leave you. I wish we could talk all day about Portugal and travel, and there's
we could
so
talk
much.
all day. Yes.
There's so much to say. But I guess I want you to share some favorite wines, favorite, I don't know, maybe not producers because I know some of them are your clients, but some of the grapes that you like or you think would be interesting for people to discover and to look for.
Well, I have to confess that I'm following the same trend of the lighter kind of reds.
Hmm.
I do like the claret style of wine, and we have a few Portuguese grapes that already do it naturally. So it's not a time, not a matter of concentration in the grapes, but naturally the grapes don't have that much color and lighter flavors. We have a few ones like Bastardo or Rufete, and even Negramol, which is a native grape from the Algarve,
Hmm.
and which produces a very light red, a lot of acidity and tannins as well, but it's not a very full-bodied kind of grape. Has a lot of fruit and the tannins, like I told, the acidity, and that's one of my favorite grapes. One of the oldest in Portugal, and one of my favorite grapes.
Very
And maybe
cool.
because it's warming up here and the weather it's getting better, and I feel like having a lighter red.
And do you drink a lot of sparkling from Portugal?
Well, now you got me. The thing is, I don't really drink a lot of sparkling drinks in
Okay.
general. Uh, but if I have to suggest or recommend any kind of sparklings, I would definitely recommend Bairrada and Távora Varosa. So the two, we have sparklings all over the country already, even in Madeira Island. So we're producing sparklings all over. But I still think that we're good at sparklings in Bairrada and Távora Varosa. For those who really love
Yeah.
sparklings, those are the two places to go.
I think sparkling is outside of, I love champagne, but because of the price point, it's less accessible. But sparkling from all over the world are trending at the moment. And when I was in Portugal, actually, I noticed that more and more Beirada were by the glass, but in every regions. Like I was in the center, there was Beirada by the glass. I was in Algarve, I was in the north. So I thought it was really cool. And I hope we're going to have more in our market from Beirada soon in Canada so we can enjoy.
Yes, and in Bairrada they have something fun. That's the red sparkling. They do a
Mm.
lot of red sparkling, which is fun to taste as well.
So much to taste. Thank you so much, Madalena, for your time. We're definitely gonna have to do this another time to talk a little bit more in depth into the regions.
Anytime you want.